Now to focus, and 12 Japanese companies exhibiting submarines, helicopter carriers and radar equipment. In fact, an arms fair in Japan, the first international arms fair ever in Japan, in fact. It would have been almost unthinkable only a few years ago. Japan, of course, renouncing war after its defeat in 1945. The fair also coinciding with the start of a parliamentary debate over bills that could see Japanese troops fighting alongside allies overseas for the first time in 7 decades. Well, as our correspondents Marie Linton and Justin McCurry report from Tokyo, the challenges to Japan's pacifist credentials have unleashed a fierce public debate.
Trumpets and drums herald a bold new era for Japan's military capability. This maritime self-defense force band is playing at the country's first international arms fair, dedicated to maritime security and defense near Tokyo.
We've had a desire to come here for a number of years, but with the new defence policies in Japan, the appetite is here. Just really, we have to go where our exhibitors want us to go.
An event of this kind is unusual in Japan, a supposedly pacifist country. But in April last year, Japan relaxed its self-imposed ban on arms exports, giving domestic firms, which could previously only sell to the country's own self-defense forces, the green light to sell to overseas clients. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries' Soryu-class submarine is just one piece of hardware to have attracted international interest.
We are very happy that we'll be able to sell abroad thanks to the easing of the arms export ban. We are now exchanging and giving details about the Soryu submarine to Australia, which is very interested in the submarine.
Despite its pacifist constitution, Japan has been quick to develop its military capability.
According to our direct contacts with Japanese industry, Japan has a very good level. There are areas where they did not make much effort in terms of research and development, where we can consider cooperation between their industry and the French industry or the European industry in general.
Since he came to power 2.5 years ago, Japan's Conservative Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has acted quickly to strengthen the military. Aside from easing the arms export ban, he increased defence spending and is hoping to pass legislation that will allow Japanese troops to fight alongside its allies overseas, namely the United States, for the first time since the Second World War. Abe's approach is a major break with Japan's war-renouncing doctrine enshrined in its constitution.
Japan has always stayed in the background by refusing to take action. This is how pacifism was seen. What Prime Minister Abe advocates today is a proactive pacifism, in which Japan takes part actively in international efforts for peace.
To realise his proactive pacifism, Abe wants to change the way the constitution's interpreted, without actually revising the document itself. Mizuho Fukushima, a socialist lawmaker, is among those fighting Abe's proactive pacifism. She's preparing to confront the Prime Minister in Parliament in an attempt to block bills approved recently by the Cabinet. If they pass, the bills would enable Japan to come to the aid of the United States if it came under attack anywhere in the world, as well as supply it with ammunition. Fukushima says Abe is acting as if he were above the law.
Shinzo Abe aims at reinterpreting the Constitution before revising it by following strict legal procedures. Then he made promises to the United States in the new defense guidelines between the two countries, and only now does he submit the corresponding laws to the Diet. This is nonsense, and it's clearly undemocratic.
Yuji Kato is one of many people marching in Tokyo to defend the pacifist constitution. He says the fight has only just begun.
Shinzo Abe claims that these laws will defend peace, but I don't think you can protect peace in Japan and in the world by going to war. That's what it says on my placard.
The 22-year-old and about 3,000 other demonstrators gather in this arena in the latest in a series of protests against Abe's plans for the constitution.
When I went to Nagasaki for the anniversary of the atomic bombing, I understood the horror of war and of the atomic bomb. Now Shinzo Abe is putting Japan in a dangerous situation. If we don't make our voices heard, everything will change.
Polls show that public opinion is divided on whether to expand the role of Japan's armed forces. The proportion of people for and against the move is roughly the same.
Don't let Abe drag Japan into war.
But demonstrators like these, and the wider debate taking place in Japan, probably won't be enough to stop Abe. His Liberal Democratic Party and its coalition partner have comfortable majorities in both houses of the National Diet.
Justin McCurry and Marie Linton reporting for us from Tokyo for today's Focus.